Jeff, you have talked about not seeing the phrase workflow in businesses, enterprises outside of the media, but what opportunities and benefits are there in extending the reach and visibility of content and workflow operations beyond the traditional content preparation and media management areas to the wider media enterprise and beyond?
I think there's lots of opportunities. The explosion of delivery mechanisms is changing almost on a day-by-day basis, and clients worldwide, content owners worldwide, I think have just got to appreciate that, plan for it, anticipate it, and move forward with it and be ahead of the game. Otherwise, it's here today, gone tomorrow, and the content will have lost its value unless it's historical. Tony mentioned archives, national archives, and that's something that's slightly different, and I think they are definitely going to always be around in terms of managing the history of a particular nation or group of people or an industry, railways, for example. But generally, I think media is evolving so quickly and changing that it will just lose its value very quickly.
Actually, Tony, if we can come back to something you have spoken about, and you're referring to the Australian archives, how do you see
the move to put content, make content available, if you like? Actually, moving the information and the content out to what is the wider enterprise in what we see as the broadcast and the media industry. But then there's a much wider industry past that, which the National Archives are looking to exploit, and most of the cultural archives around the world are government owned or funded, and therefore they're trying to get some return on in the investment of these tapes, this content that's sat on dusty shelves, although they're not that dusty in controlled environments.
And they're not tape.
And a lot of them are filmed. But people, the edict is that they need to make those more available to the public, to the wider public. So I don't think it's just the wider enterprise that we're looking at here. We're looking at the wider public, the explosion of the internet. But if we look at the media and broadcast business, then yes, absolutely, making the content, the information that's traditionally been held in the content preparation and the broadcast domain out and available to the wider operation is a significant area that must be exploited. We do see within our organisation and our customers wanting to do that. We did a consultancy project for one of our clients where they entered the title of an acquired program into 34 separate systems. And that's because they wouldn't give access to the existing metadata down in the content preparation area. That's a complete waste and highly inefficient. And therefore, making it available to the wider enterprise improves the monetization of the content, which the operations have got to make, and the, dare I say it, the workflow throughout the operation.
Peter?
I think you've hit on exactly the key point there in some respect, that really within any organisation the content really is if you like the crown jewels, it's the product. The whole organisation needs to be able to get behind that, whether it's just a question of seeing information about it or whether it's a question of seeing the content itself, trying to work out what content can be targeted towards new products or new delivery chains or new markets. It really is not serving any organisation's interest to have all of their libraries sitting there inaccessible. It's only going to improve their bottom line if more of their sales teams, more of their creatives can see that content, find things, reuse parts of it, and do more with it. But I'd go one step further and say that it's actually now equally important, or becoming equally important, for their partners to have similar access. So, for example, most organisations are going to outsource at least a part of their production or their content creation or some processing on that content. It could just be subtitles or translation. But again, why not allow that partner access to your content? They can see what work they have to do. They can get the work immediately do the work and deliver it back without you having to actually give them the content in the first place. They can just access it. I think that the savings made there are quite significant in themselves. But equally, the people who sell the content too. I mean, if you're a content owner selling it to different television networks, once you've done the deal, why not let them browse it, pull down the bits they want, rather than them having to constantly pester you for clips, for promos. Just let them go and find the clips they want themselves and pull them in the format that they need the content in. I think that's the key thing, is just really opening up your content across your organisation and beyond.
I think I'd pick up on that phrase, opening up, not so much within the broadcast market directly, but more generally with, going back to Tony's point about National Archives and areas like that. I'm working with a client at the moment to open up their archive and obviously increase the archive on a day-by-day basis to extend the activities of the local government to all the people, so that people can see what is going on and see what their members of the Parliament are saying and talking about, rather than relying on the classic story within a news bulletin.
Reportage model.
Yeah, and it's very important, I think, that it does allow content owners to reach out to the public in this particular case, but their audience generally.